Hi, friends. It's Peg, and today on Art Joyous Sharing, which is our other channel where Chelsea and I do our live stream each Thursday, 10:30 Central, we were working with wax products. Now, I have done things in the past with hot wax, and I have used other wax type products, as you have seen in the past, but today we were working with uh, oil sticks and with a new product which you can use acrylics with. And just having a play, didn't really finish anything today, but we were showing how you could use these products in your art. So I will put some links down below to the products that we are using. These are the Shiva oil sticks, and for that I'm using the Gamblin cold wax medium, mixing about 50-50, and just spreading that around on this wooden panel. I had prepped it, and actually I have a coat of wax on that I put on this panel yesterday, and of course it's not dry, but you know, when you're working with cold wax, and especially in the environment here in Iowa where it's humid, it's going to take time to dry. And the acrylic medium dries a little bit faster than this one with the oils. So I would say it depends on how you work and whether or not you want to work with the oil or whether you want to work with the acrylic as to which you might want to choose. So I'm just mixing up my colors. Oh, actually, this is footage of the panel the day before. Pardon me. This was I had put a coat of gesso on it, and then I had started my wax layers, and I'm going to put some cling wrap on top of this to see if I can get some texture in this first layer. But this is stuff that I did in preparation for the show because, you know, we can't do everything on an hour-and-a-half show. So I'm just using this tool to put some texture in, and then I will add some cling wrap and let that dry overnight so that it's ready to go for the live show. So now we're starting the live show, and I'm mixing some acrylics with that PowerTex cold wax medium that's meant for acrylics. And like I said, there will be links in the box below if you're interested in any of these products. These are golden paints. It's a mixture. Some are heavy body, some are open. You know, I have an assortment, but these are the colors that I wanted to work with. So I'm putting those down, showing you my palette that I will be working from for a couple of projects I have in mind. I wanted to get these prepped and ready to go before the show. And I will label this so that people know what these products are that I'm using. So these are going to stay nice and wet throughout the show just because it's cold wax and it's not going to be dry by the end of the show. I'm also going to add some napkin and inclusions in this. But you can see I've just put down some papers onto different plastic pieces so that I can move between pieces. And this book, Acrylic Painting for Encaustic Effects, is really interesting because it has a number of different ideas about how you can get encaustic effects without using any of the products that I'm showing here. Some of them could include things like your molding paste and that sort of thing. But, you know, if you're interested in getting encaustic effects with something other than wax, you may want to look into that book. And remember, once again, links will be in the description box below. But this is the Gamlan, which works with the oils. So those are the oil sticks from Shiva. And I'm showing different pencils and things that also have oil in them, like your Jerry's Artorama charcoal pencil is oil impregnated. So this is a piece that I had done a number of months ago with cold wax, and it is thoroughly dry now, but it's taken a number of months to dry out. So I'm working on paper, and if you're going to work on paper, just know that the wax can crack if you're not careful. So if you're going to do your piece on paper, you're either going to have to mount it on some panel board or put it under glass so that it's not going to be damaged. So I'm just getting started using a brayer and adding some of those colors into my background and talking to the audience, you know, as we do. And then I decide I want to do a little asemic writing. So I grab my Jerry's pencil and add that to the background that I've created there. And now I'm going to add some napkin in. Now, the nice thing about the wax medium is it just can be layered and add those things in between and makes them go translucent. So it's a really nice way of sandwiching things like napkins into your finished piece. There I got a little bit too rambunctious with my trowel. So I had to move that over because I tore my napkin. So that I'm going to set aside, and I'm going to go back to that panel that I had originally. And I'm going to mix up some of the Shiva oils with some of the Gamlan cold wax. So what happens with these oil sticks is they get a skin coat over the top of them, and you'll need to peel back that skin coat to reveal the oil stick underneath. And there are different qualities. You know, I have 3 different types of these oil sticks. These pink label ones are the student grade, and they are not as highly pigmented. You can see I'm having a little bit of difficulty getting that orange out. It's not highly pigmented like the artist grade. And then in addition to the artist grade ones, there are the iridescent, which I find kind of interesting because, you know, normally a wax product you don't think of as having an iridescence or shining anything, but they do seem to come in a range of metallics in those iridescents. So now I'm mixing some of that red and using my pencil again in the background, and I'm going to smear some of that red onto my piece, but I'm showing different tools that can be used, you know, the catalyst tool, the cheap tools from the hardware store, the silicone spatulas, and there's lots of different tools that you can use to work with this medium. So now I'm mixing a little white and blue in with that red to make a pinkish tone. And I'm going to grab another tool and get some of that onto my background. And then I'll use some of those scraping tools. This is a We Are Memory Keeper tool to scrape into that and get some texture going. This is a catalyst tool. And revealing those layers underneath. And then using my stick and just applying it directly to the layers that are there. Then I decided to try something that I'd seen in that book, which was using mineral spirits, or what do they call that, Gamasol, to remove some of that wax. And you can do this in acrylic too with alcohol, but I was not very pleased with the effect that I was getting. So yeah, that was kind of a fail, but that's okay. One of the things that we do is try things out for you guys so that you don't have to run out and purchase these things to try them. We're testing them out and showing them to you. Now, those were some oil pastel sticks, which can also be used in this process. And I'm just looking for some things that I wanted to include. I've got this deli wrap paper that's got some alcohol ink on it. And yes, alcohol inks can be used with these cold wax mediums. So, it's just another thing that you can do with your alcohol inks. So I'm going to put a layer down of the wax, trying to get my background layers started, and then I'm going to add some of this alcohol ink paper to my piece. And this is where I say, once you get that paper on there, you should probably be letting that dry and then coming back and adding other layers later. But it's an hour-and-a-half show. We don't have time for drying. So I keep on working, and yeah, this piece really becomes kind of a hot mess, but that's okay. It's about trying things out, seeing what works, what doesn't work, and just having an art play day with you guys. Things have to go through a lot of ugly stages before you get to something that you really like. So I'm putting these things down, and I'm saying to myself, this is really going to be kind of a cool underpainting, because when you do underpaintings, there's a lot of interest, a lot of layers and squares and just all kinds of things going on. So that's what I'm thinking, is this is going to end up being an underpainting, and I'm going to put final coats over the top of this and then reveal all of that really cool stuff underneath. So if you're enjoying this and you want to see the whole live video, go over to Art Joy is Sharing and watch it there. Join our Facebook group, Art Joy is Sharing, so that you can share your art with us. And then, if you like this video in fast mode and you're new to my channel, please consider liking, sharing, subscribing to my channel, because that all helps my channel grow and lets YouTube know that what you're watching here is of value to somebody, and also helps the algorithm so that others can find my channel. So I'm continuing to play. You know, I'm trying to mix some mineral spirits with some of that paint to see if I can splatter. You know, I'm just trying anything and everything, just to see what I can get. Now here's a stencil. This is a Stencil Girl stencil. And I decided that I'm going to mix up some more color and use that with my stencil in the background. And you mix about half and half, and then going to use a scraper here and scrape that on to the background, trying to get it into all those nooks and crannies, and see what we can get with this. So that's about it for the show today. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you give cold wax a try, or at least, check out that book that shows how you can get waxy effects without even using cold wax. Okay, thanks guys. Bye for now.